Hail Thunder Buddies, 'tis I, John Smith 11, the guy of thunder! And first off, you guys are probably wondering to yourselves, John, why does it look like you stuck your finger in a light socket? Well, some friends of mine recommended that I try wearing my hair differently, and my bud Wolf Dragon recommended that I try to have it up somehow so it's not in my face, so I decided to go for the Johnny Test Lady Liberty hairstyle. Second thing, you guys are probably wondering just because, what the hell is that thing on your shirt, because you can barely see it? It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Don't judge me. Anyways, you guys probably don't even give a crap about any of that because that's not why I made this video. I made this video for two big reasons. First of which being, thank all of you so much for subscribing to my channel. Like 350 subscribers, like holy shit. I never even thought that I would get 5 subscribers, let alone 350. So from the bottom of my heart to all of you out there, thank you all so much for 350 subscribers. It means so much to me that there are 350 people out there who are almost as weird as I am that actually like watching my videos. So thank you all for subscribing and for sticking around for this long. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And for the second big reason why I'm making this video is because I made you guys a promise that when it arrived, I would make a video about it. And after it decided to go from California to Michigan, then over to Pennsylvania for some reason for about 2 weeks in transit, then back to Michigan, it finally got here. I give to you Mjolnir, the Golden Breach Hammer. There is actually a story behind this hammer, which I shall briefly summarize for you guys. You see, back a few years ago, me and some friends of mine were in a Melee server, and we all just kind of started spitballing like, hey, if you could have your own custom weapon in-game, what would it be? I think that my friend Soviet Ninja 420 said he wanted a, oh god, what was it, like a Reaper Scythe or something in place of the machete. My friend Mofire said that he wanted like green glowing toxic throwing knives. Ugh. Sorry, cringed a little bit at the thought of toxic. Eventually, when it got to my turn, what I said I would really like is a golden breach hammer called Mjolnir, because I am a huge Thor nerd, and I had already gained the nickname Thor because of how much I use the breach hammer, and because I can do Chris Hemsworth's voice. So yeah, it eventually grew into an obsession. I'm not even gonna lie. I legit, like at one point, after the HSL livestream in 2015, because apparently Dom knew I wanted one, he brought it up to Lord Alf on the stream. Like, oh god. I figured to myself, you know what, they're probably busy doing work on Blacklight or other games or stuff because they're a game developing company, that's what they do. So I figured, screw it, after a really long while of deliberating to myself whether or not I was actually going to go through with it, I wound up actually deciding to myself I was going to get an IRL breach hammer. So I wound up contacting a prop guy by the name of Igor Pinsky. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And he has a shop called Pinsky Props on Etsy, which I will be leaving a link to in the description, just in case any of you guys want to buy anything in his shop or have a custom commission for him that you want him to look over. So basically, I looked at some of his stuff. I was really impressed with how it all turned out and how it looked. And I asked him, just for the hell of it, ballpark estimate, how much would you think it'd be to make one of these? And it was within my price range, so I wound up going through with it, and I commissioned Mr. Pinsky to make me one of these. And I've got to say that it turned out absolutely magnificent. Like, I could not be happier with this thing. Like, the detail alone is fantastic. And also because of the amount of participation that I actually got to put in making this thing. Because throughout the whole process of constructing it, Mr. Pinsky would send me pictures and stuff being like, hey, this is what I have so far. Is there anything you want me to change? Any details that you want me to add? So, Mr. Pinsky, if you are watching this, thank you so much for being such a nice guy throughout the whole process of making this thing. So, there's that. And also, I told him that as far as, like, functionality, it didn't need to have any at all. It just needed to look like the breach hammer and just be a pretty thing that I could have sitting on, like, a shelf or something. And this dude went to the trouble of making this thing actually be able to move. So now I can actually play like I whack somebody and then I reload it. So that is a really nice feature that I am happy that he actually put in there. And this dude even went to the trouble of having little stickers made that have the text that are on the little decals on the hammer put on there. And the way that he weathered over it, you would not be able to tell unless you looked closely that those are stickers. Like, this dude, like, if you look really close, that says caution, and in really small text under that, it says, parts under mass pressure, keep body parts out of path of moving parts to avoid any possible bodily injury, which is absolutely fantastic. I was tempted to have him put on there, this text should be exceptionally small and difficult to see like it does on those holographic targets, but I asked him to put that there instead. And he put this one here that says pull down lever to repressurize captive bolt, and this one up here that says warning, keep hands clear. So that is remarkable that he actually went to the trouble of having those made so he can add in just that much more detail onto this. And he did wind up putting the same thing on this side as well, but I asked him, hey, are those painted on, because those are kind of only supposed to be on one side, and he said, nah, those are just stickers, so I was able to peel them off, like, no problem. But I did wind up leaving this one here, because that actually looks really freaking cool by itself on this side. So, yeah, that's basically it. Like, overall, I could not be happier on how this thing turned out. I feel like a freaking 5-year-old getting the perfect Christmas present with this thing, because, like, the amount of detail in the paint job and just like the way that it looks, the size of it, it's perfect. I could not be happier with this thing. So, Mr. Pinsky, thank you so much for agreeing to make this for me, and I'm going to be displaying this proudly on a shelf in my room. So that's basically it. Don't really have much else to talk about, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave this here. So, once again, to all my friends and subscribers out there, thank you all so much for subscribing. It means so much to me. And to Mr. Pinsky, thank you so much for this incredible masterpiece and making one of my dreams come true. So, to everybody out there, thanks very much for watching. And if you liked it, by all means, pick up a breach hammer and smash that like button. Once again, thank you all very much for watching, and as always, keep calm and hammer on. Don't judge me.